What is going on, everybody? It is the Friday edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kaweisenberg, DFS, ready to jump into tonight's single game slate of NBA playoff action. We've also got a two-gamer in the W, so you know I'm going to focus on the hoops here today. Before we jump in, again, coming off another, from a third-party standpoint, another disappointing game in Nuggets-Wolves, but we are now all set for a Game 7 in that series, so certainly looking forward to that this weekend. And again, from a guy who has no horse in this race, I would love to see Knicks and Pacers go 7, but hopefully a more entertaining game for the rest of us tonight. Just a 5-point spread, I believe, was 5.5. Has moved down to 5 in favor of the Pacers. So we'll jump in. Alex says, good to see Alex in here. Says, please tell Keith Mitchell to make a putt. Come on, Keith. I see Hugo in here. Hugo joined us on the playback stream watching that game last night. One game, better than none. Yeah, and I see the new name change this morning in the Discord and here on the YouTube. And yeah, if we get that Game 7, then we can get a 2-game Sunday slate in those DFS streets. Need some pairs for this Scotty free square. And I saw, you guys know that I'm not as locked in on PGA as somebody like Alex Blickel, but I did see whatever's going on. He got detained by police yesterday. Somebody who knows more about what's going on with Scotty, fill me in there in the comments here on the YouTube. And again, if you're watching over on Twitter, you can jump into the YouTube comments while we're live here. And if you've got any props that you've got your eye on, certainly happy to discuss them if you just drop a question or a comment into that live chat. And while you're here, hit that like button, right? It helps us grow the show, helps us grow the channel. And that is what we're trying to do here at FTN Fantasy. Yeah, there you go. So we do have that Scotty Scheffler. They really put him. Oh my God, is this a mug shot? What is going on here? Oh, interesting. Okay, well, you're in luck, T. And I think, are you Galvi in the Discord? Let me know. It said need some pairs for this Scotty free square. I've got 5 plays to discuss here on the Friday stream. So pairing that with that Scheffler free square gives you a nice little 6-pick play. Let's talk about it. Before we jump into the tool, as always, just got to remind you, if you have not, for some reason, not signed up for PrizePicks yet, go do that. And at sign up, use the promo code FTN. That will get you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And you can get that same deposit match bonus over at Underdog. So if you haven't signed up with Underdog Fantasy yet, scan the QR code that's on the screen right now, or just head over to Underdog, sign up with that same promo code, get that same 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. And then if you have not downloaded the Sleeper app yet, you can do the same thing at sign up, promo code FTN, but at Sleeper, you're going to get that deposit match bonus up to $500. So again, as we always say here, take advantage of these offers, get that free money, build your bankroll up with these sites by signing up, and then head over to FTN Fantasy, where we're just rolling right along. You know, I know the best ball streets on the NFL side are heating up. Obviously, PGA in full swing here, no pun intended. NBA playoffs, WNBA is back. We've got esports, hockey playoffs still. Great time to be a sports fan. Great time to be at FTN Fantasy. Looks like we've got, it's good to see Tilts Noel in here. I think that might be Calvin. Tilts Noel says, it was this morning. A civilian got hit by a shuttle bus in front of the entrance of Valhalla and was killed. Scotty drove past the cops through the median and they got pissed. Stopped him. Okay, reached through his window and pulled him out of the, oh my, come on, man. Holy cow. I don't need to give commentary on that, but not surprised. Mr. Follower loves what we do. Hey, I love to see that. And hey, again, you can come sign up at FTN Fantasy. $250 for the year, $250 for the whole year, but you can upgrade to the VIP Plus subscription, which gets you access to everything under the FTN Fantasy umbrella, right? Fantasy, bets, DFS, access to all of our tools, advanced statistics, projection models, access to all 3 of our Discords. $299 for the full year at FTN Fantasy VIP Plus subscription, right around $25 a month. I think, I'm a little bit biased, but I think that's one of the best values in the industry. So, all right, enough of that. Let's get to the tool. And we will start on the NBA side of things here tonight. Game 6, Knicks-Pacers, 8:30 p.m. Eastern tonight. And there's one prop here that is hands down my favorite on the NBA board right now, and that's Dante DiVincenzo's field goals attempted. And right now, it's set at 14. And DiVincenzo was over this number in 4 straight games before missing by 1 in Game 4 and pushing this number in Game 5. In Game 4, Knicks run out of the building in Indy, right? And his minutes were limited to just right around 32. In Game 5 at home the other night, he took 14 shots, but he lost a lot of time to foul trouble and then the eventual blowout, getting right around 30 minutes. I think he was like 29 minutes, 58 seconds, something like that. If this game remains competitive, right, and it's just a 5-point spread in favor of the home team here, you should expect DiVincenzo to play at least upper 30s in minutes. And I think there's a clear ceiling into the 40s. In fact, the FTN model is even heavier on his minutes than I just kind of got across there. Got him in for 41 minutes here tonight and a touch over 15 and a half attempts, as you can see in the model here. I think that number could even be a bit low. Because if he touches 40 minutes again in that 4-game stretch that I mentioned that bridged the closeout game in the first round against Philly in the first 3 games of this series, DiVincenzo averaged right around 45 minutes a game and a touch over 20 field goal attempts across those 4. And like I mentioned, 13 and 14 shots in the limited time that he got in games 4 and 5 of this series. So I love the more than selection here on Dante DiVincenzo. Field goals attempted set at 14 right now. I see in here. I see. Yeah. The Spurs last year when they won the lottery, I was on stream with our buddy Adam Pfeiffer, and I let it loose, man. It was a hell of a celebration in my household. And more, I think, not just the celebration, but it was the relief. And I know I talk about this a ton, but I named my puppy that I got 9 months before the lottery. I named him Wembanyama, trying to create some good wuju there and bring Wemby to San Antonio for my favorite basketball team. And just the fact that that worked. And then I didn't have to rename him Scoot or Brandon or something like that, or Amin. You know, it was a big relief. So I'm glad you got a kick out of that, my friend. So sticking here in this game, right, we get back to business. The tool also likes TJ McConnell's points prop and a more than selection there. He's set at 10.5 points. So I'm more than fine taking that TJ McConnell points prop and a more than selection. Model has him a hair over 12.5 points here tonight. We also, I don't think, have the PRA capability on the NBA side yet in the tool. But for what that's worth, I also, if you'd rather take the PRA, I like a more than selection there too. It's set at 18.5. Model has him for over 20 in terms of PRA. So I'm fine taking either of these 2 options, but it's not going to surprise any of you that I also like and prefer of these TJ props his fantasy score, which is set at 23. He's projected for a little more than 25.5 fantasy score in the FTN model here. And, for what it's worth, TJ McConnell, 7 times in his career, he's played more than 20 minutes in a playoff game. And in those 7 postseason appearances where he got 20 or more minutes, he is over this fantasy score number of 23 in all 7 of those. FTN model has him projected for 21 minutes here tonight. So again, that is not everything. And I'm fine taking any of those 3 TJ McConnell props, but my favorite here is the more than on his fantasy score of 23. Just more ways to get there. 3 points for the stocks. We know TJ is scrappy, gets in those passing lanes, getting up, guarding the ball handlers. I like the fantasy score here is my preference. So checking in, I see in the chat, I see you said, yeah, bet TJ right before the stream. So there you go. We are in lockstep on Timothy John McConnell. And let's just stick here. Let me just get fully into the fantasy score board here. And I want to go back to somebody that did us well on Wednesday night, and that's Isaiah Hartenstein, right? I think it would be foolish to expect him to exhibit the same type of one-man dominance on the glass that we saw in Game 5, right? 17 rebounds on Wednesday, not something we should be expecting again. But when you look at the condensed rotation here for the Knicks, he projects a couple points higher in the FTN model than his line, which is set at 30.5 fantasy score. We've got him a hair over 32 here today. And I think, again, similar to that DiVincenzo prop, I think there's I wouldn't look at the model sideways if it had him a little bit higher, because just up in my noggin, I think that line is just maybe even more than a couple points too low for Hartenstein. So locking in that more than selection on 30.5. I see Zed right now in the chat, and Jay went in there discovering the Scotty Scheffler with the jumpsuit on over there on PrizePicks. Amazing. So I'm taking a more than selection on Isaiah Hartenstein. I see Tilts Noel not happy about it. And so, hey, if you don't want to go to Hartenstein, I get it. You can head over to that NBA PrizePicks tool on the site, find another prop to sub in there for yourself. And again, you know that MLB, and I'll be getting into more MLB props and content along with Alex once the hoops are done. But, you know, the NBA and WNBA, any hoops. We got Summer League this summer. We got the Olympic tournament. Maybe they give us TBT props as well. It's ball never stops, right? Basketball never stops for me. So I would definitely point you towards that MLB tool as well, though, if you're looking for more picks to fill out an entry, you know, get up to 5 or 6 picks. If you're not, you know, you don't have to be holding hands with me on all of these picks. And Tilts Noel saying, do I have a WNBA replacement? That is a good segue, my friend, because it is time for some more WNBA props, which very small sample size here over the first 3 days of the season, but have not missed yet. So we'll try to keep that going here tonight. And like I mentioned, 2 games in the W here on Friday. And I want to start in Connecticut. Sun hosting the Mystics here, and Washington looking a lot different this season. Elena Delle Donne, Natasha Cloud no longer with the club. And so I'm looking at Ariel Atkins. And she's expected to play a much bigger role this season than we've seen in the past. And I think we've seen that come to fruition across the 2 preseason games and in the regular season opener on Tuesday. Her fantasy score prop on PrizePicks is set at 26.5. And even with the Mystics as 9-point road dogs here on Friday, line still feels a couple points too low for me. It was only a 139-minute sample size of Atkins last season with no Cloud or Delle Donne on the floor. But she was 1.17 PrizePicks fantasy score points per minute in that sample. She led Washington in minutes in the opener on Tuesday against the Liberty with 34. And keep in mind, for the unfamiliar, WNBA games are just 40 minutes, not 48 like we get on the men's side. So give me the more than selection on Ariel Atkins, her fantasy score prop of 26.5. And shout out to our boy Walt Waldell, did us well, pointing us towards Atkins on the DFS side of things on Tuesday. And then I want to stay in this game to close it out. And I want to roll with Alyssa Thomas from that Connecticut side of things. Her fantasy score prop set at 40.5. Last season, Alyssa Thomas was over that number in 25 of her 40 regular season appearances last year. And I need more than one hand to count the times that she was hovering just below that number, you know, in like a 2-point range of that. AT rarely comes off the floor. and runner-up for league MVP and defensive player of the year last season. 36.2 minutes per game last year, contributes across the box score. And her propensity for racking up stocks, again, runner-up for DPOY last year, really helps her floor-ceiling combo when you get 3 points for stocks on PrizePicks. She also went over this number in all 4 matchups against the Mystics last season. I think it's not that the Mystics were any great shakes in 2023, but I think it's certainly an easier matchup here in 2024, at least on paper. So I'm locking in AT here as well. So that will do it here for me on the stream. Today on Friday, we've got 5 picks in there, right? My favorite of the day is the more than selection on DiVincenzo. More than 14 field goals attempted. We're also rolling with TJ McConnell, more than 23 fantasy score. And again, if you prefer the points, if you prefer the PRA for TJ, we also have pretty strong leans towards the more than selections on those as well. You may be able to find those numbers on another site like Underdog, maybe like Sleeper, that might not have a fantasy score prop posted for TJ. So certainly look to use those on some of those other sites. And then Isaiah Hartenstein, over 30.5 fantasy score. Ariel Atkins, more than 26.5 fantasy score. And Alyssa Thomas to close it out, more than 40.5 fantasy score. That'll do it here for me on the Friday edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. I know Alex is back tomorrow on Saturday. I imagine we'll have some golf picks interspersed with some MLB picks on Saturday, so I am looking forward to that. Alex has already steered me to at least 1 5 for 5 here on the Underdog side of things. So that was nice to see when I opened up the app yesterday, that John Daly prop soaring over. Great shout by Alex earlier in the week. So you'll see Alex tomorrow, and you will see me back on this channel, on this stream on Monday. So I'll see you guys then. Appreciate you tuning in and sticking with me. Whether you caught it live or on the replay, hit that like button on your way out. And of course, good luck tonight, everybody.